Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a look at how Ainz Ooal defeated the strongest frost dragon in the Elysian mountains, and why he was a bit disappointed by them. But before we're going to do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who make one-time donations. Also please check out my fantasy channel, it's linked down in the description. Now with that said, let's start with Periuru, the leader of the Quagoan tribes, or rather the one that united them under his single leadership. And Periuru is basically the beastman version of Emperor Jerkneth. He was quite smart and a very capable leader, and he also implemented a clever reward system in order to forge the former separated tribes used to fighting another into one single united force, by offering them ores, and the better the ore the Quagoan young are fed in their youth, the stronger the adult Quagoa will become, meaning that outstanding results will be rewarded, while simultaneously any secessionist thought or any rebellious action are thoroughly suppressed by the metaphorical carrot Periuru was dangling in front of every single Quagoa. But all his leadership skills were nothing compared to the overwhelming might the frost dragons had amassed under Olasird'arc who has taken 3 wives and fathered over a dozen of children, and he easily dominated the Quagoan even as they were now united. And they become a tributary tribe, so to speak. They were still granted vast autonomies, including the ability to wage war, but always under the heel of Olasir, who wanted to use the lesser beings in order to build up even more power. And therefore Periuru figured that with the surprisingly strong dwarven resistance and the dragons lording over his tribe, an opportunity has arisen. He would pay an extraordinary amount of tribute in order for the frost dragons to lend a hand, or rather dragon, in order to deal with the so-called golems of the dwarves. And ideally 1 or 2 dragons would die, while the dwarves' counteroffensive would be completely destroyed, and their defensives cracked open. Thus both sides would be weakened, while the Quagoa would have time to consume the ores of the dwarves, multiply, and eventually grow strong enough that they could eventually overthrow their dragon masters. And this kind of succeeded with Hanjamal, the well-read Hikikomori dragon, recognizing the strength of Ainz and the ability of him to kill him quite easily. He submitted meekly and led the Overlord in the room before the treasury vault of the dwarves, and announced that Ainz Ooal is now their new Overlord Master and King. Now Olasird'arc wasn't having any of it. He over the years and decades has amassed a little harem of frost dragons, sired more than a dozen of sons, and saw himself as almost without any rivals. Only the frost giants that live in the Elysian mountains, or rather on top of them, are a genuine danger to himself and his species. That's also why he united the normally solitary living frost dragons under his command. And after also subjugating the Quagoa into becoming a subject species, a skeleton, for Olasir in contrast to his son, couldn't even identify the undead as at least an elder lich, capable of withstanding ice attacks with complete natural ease, and being able to cast fireball spells. And he also wasn't worried that Hanjamal had brought Ainz Ooal and his entourage on his very own back. No, he was angry and disappointed by his son. Now, while he was quite oblivious to Ainz Ooal's strength in the anime, at least in the novels he was more fascinated by the elegant and very valuable looking robe Ainz Ooal wears, which was something that the Overlord should willingly give up in exchange for his unlife. Now at that point Olasir was set on treasure and trophies, and thus completely failed to notice how powerful the undead in front of him was, and therefore he attacked. And Ainz Ooal, who was fairly annoyed at this point, and also fairly keen on acquiring the body of a dragon, in order to forge a wide variety of items from it, used his favorite 9th tier spell, Grasp Heart, in order to dispose of his enemy. And one single spell was all it took to fell the mightiest of the frost dragons, a dragon that had everything and was quite literally sleeping on a pile of gold, accompanied by 3 of his concubines in the midst of the former dwarf capital city of Feoberkana, all because he was too greedy and arrogant to notice to whom he was talking to. Afterwards, and the anime sadly cut this part out, Ainz Ooal had thrown the body of the dead frost dragon to Yuri Alpha via a gate spell. But even with all of this done, the sheer might and power Olasirdar had, and the sheer quickness of his death, made it, for at least one of his sons, Thoringald, impossible to believe that this small undead could have felled his mighty father. And so he chose to attack, pleasing Ainz with yet another dead dragon, for him to use as he pleased. And with this last demonstration of his might, Ainz gained the entirety of the frost dragons of the Elysian mountains as a subject species, and also acquired the knowledge about the existence of the ice giants and their power. And at the end of this little video, a spoiler warning needs to be issued, in order to explain the fate of both the frost dragons and the ice giants. For the dragons, thanks to their ability to fly, maybe except Hanjemal, were turned into living airplanes, which came in quite handy, considering by how much the Sorcerer Kingdom has already expanded, now encompassing the entirety of the Empire, the Forest of Top, and being on friendly terms with the Dwarf Kingdom, as well as subjugating pretty much the rest of the Elysian mountains. As for the ice giants, who even in the novels had been subjugated off-screen, they were spotted by Neabaraya at the gates of Irantel, polishing the statues of His Majesty, the Sorcerer King Ainz Ooal. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Badgaye, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Theral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Q&A Carcos P, Shagox His Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.